Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
How are you this morning? Y'all had a long day.
Yes, sir, we did. Sometimes it's what you do and what you don't do. Both are newsworthy.
I read that.
But,
Well,
what was it? Prime Minister Thatcher used to say we should live in interesting times or something like that.
well, I think the six of us can attest to that.
We hope that light at the end of the tunnel is not a train. I hope it's the end of the tunnel, don't you?
I hope it's the end of the tunnel. Well, really, I guess what we're doing this morning really just kind of, we've got our budgets passed and we need to begin work on it. Hopefully we can get to some agreement, hopefully today if we can work on it.
We're certainly going to work towards
yes,
that.
Sir, that's what our goal is.
We need to get out of here Friday, that's for sure.
That's the goal, I think, of everybody here.
Well, we look forward
and behind us. I think all of those would vote for us going by Friday. I think the people of Georgia vote for us to go home by Friday, too.
I'm confident that it's doable.
Yes, sir.
And that it's in the numbers are there. And I'm ready to, we're ready to meet you and go to work. I think we normally at this point might let the governor's office just have a word if at the appropriate time if you want to. I think historically they've allowed that. Once both bodies have passed a budget,
if y'all have a concern, they can tell us how wonderful both budgets are and how they're right in the middle, and just hope we get one done.
Offer support.
Yes, ma'am. Did you, Shelley, did you want to speak on behalf of the governor, or is Tommy going to do that?
Okay. Thank you very much for giving me the opportunity. The governor looks forward to working with the topics committee on putting forward a budget that meets and reflects the needs of Georgia's citizens. When he put his budget together in the fall, he did that in the context of both the 07 budget and the 08 budget, looking at them as a whole. And he asked that you consider that and meet those priorities in the budget that you're considering today. One of his major concerns is that language be included in the budget for budgetary control and flex language so that the management of the state budget is done so in a way that is efficient, accountable, and is customer service driven. He also asked that you consider the redirection of the savings that were gained from the procurement, telecom, and lease rearrangements. Those all are important to the way we deliver service in the state of Georgia. He's also looking for a bond package that is below $1 billion in order for us to keep our AAA bond rating. And the governor also asked that you reconsider his position with careful regard to the operational cuts, the across-the-board cuts that were taken. Those cuts are both disruptive and detrimental to the operations of state government. So it looks like we have a little bit of a wobbly stool right now, but the governor has asked me to represent him here, and I will offer myself to working with both sides to come out with a good budget for the citizens. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you.
Tommy
wants to say a couple of comments. Included in the budget or not, but some principles. It's I guess concerning that we seem to be coming at this from very different perspectives and various emphasis. So I really have 22 on really three issues. That one is that we try to give greater weight to not just to the legislative branches, but the governor's office as well, and with these budget recommendations to get a greater weight to the agency recommendations. That be done particularly as it affects not identifying in fund sources particular vendors or contractual service delivery organizations, and that we allow those agencies to use data-driven, fact-based processes for determining, where to have competitive those contractors with, and that service delivery locations be determined by them based on where those latest service needs seem to be. And I think we've hired a lot of professionals at these agency levels, not only at the top level, but in other senior ranks that come in with very accomplished careers in business and professional services and leadership positions in other government where they come with renown in the fields they're in. I just think we need to give them as much due as we possibly can on these recommendations and their recommendations to us. Then for the second matter, some of the CNG recommendations the governor made, those of you who were able to be with us last week with the bond rating agencies will hear her. I think that, you know, the CNG recommendations will already save about $150 million in savings. And so Johnson's there, Victor Richardson was there. And that was, you know, recommendations coming out of 22 distinguished business and educational leaders, that 200 citizens that participate in these task forces, you know, pro bono services are some of the best consulting firms in the country, from McKinsey, Accenture, to Deloitte, and IBM, and North Island, et cetera. And some of those programs are making big differences, and so I think it's really helpful if we can give as much credibility as we can to recommendations in the accounting areas, for an enterprise system, and the property management, and the customer service in particular, where we're making substantial differences in the agencies that deal with most citizens, like driver services, like taxpayer services, and revenue, and like child support enforcement. Where we've got better call systems and better processes that we're going to be putting in as a result of those kinds of initiatives. And then also, lastly, as we talked about at the mansion dinner we had last month with legislative leadership, and we looked at the overall compensation and benefit system study that we showed to you, with the study that the merit system did based on the research that Mercer did, where we interviewed all the agency heads of the state. We interviewed 13,000 employees, we interviewed 20 major employees in Georgia. We determined we've got an upside-down benefit system where we're too heavy in not enough compensation on the front end. It's a merit system has been charged with coming up with a systematic way of trying to raise agency salaries, and over time, newer employees, not existing employees, but newer employees, maybe weight that system more toward current compensation and less toward richer retirement benefits. And so, as we look at issues that agencies have here, that we allow the merit system to drive that process because they've done it in a statistical, data-based, and tax-based process. So thank you very much. If we could use some of those factors in consideration, it'd be a great help.
Well, speaking of the compensation and the benefits, the OPEB funding, the $100 million, I think both bodies have agreed to that, and that's in there, which will pull down $146 million to the trust fund. Is that correct? Somewhere in that range?
That would be very helpful because we can apply to the way.
Well, I think so far we've kind of agreed to that. I mean, that's what it looks like with both budgets we passed. You said the Commission for New Georgia saved about $150 million in identified savings. Wow, that's good. And that more than funds the tax relief that these two bodies were able to agree to. I think that shows good. We're not just saving the money and trying to get it back to the people.
I think it's particularly important when we did that because the budget instructions agency were given for the 08 year was not to increase their budgets, and most of them didn't ask for increases in budgets. The only things that were generally put in there were the formula-driven Medicaid education growth factors. When the agencies had the opportunity to get some pre-requisite savings, I think it's a good incentive to do that to the extent possible.
Yes, sir.
Shelley, you mentioned $1 billion bond package. We've been talking a lot about Commission for New Georgia. They produced a debt management plan that differs from that. Is your position that we should be $1 billion? Is the position of the government that we should follow the Commission for New Georgia's recommendation of what AAA bond rating states have as their debt management plan?
The state debt plan that we have, that we're utilizing right now, is $1 billion debt.
But that does not include transportation and parking. Is that correct?
$1,038,000,000.
It may be confusing, $1 million in new authorizations with what was issuance in 08 of those bonds that had not been previously approved but not appropriated but not issued. That was slightly above.
Okay, but to clarify, we're talking about what you want is the debt management plan numbers.
It's $1,038,000,000.
She said Go back. We'll stand behind.
Said it could
We'll
live at-
we'll stand behind your figures of
It
a
said it
billion and
could live at
38.
38.
Yeah, well, that's what it is. That's what it said. Well,
That's not under.
it's a billion next year, but it's
Is it under a billion?
your debt management plan says a billion and 38
I thought it
million.
was great, but we gotta look at it.
Okay, whip it out and look at it.
Can I ask a question? The C&G savings that you've generated, can you identify which of those are actually being spent to save additional money with whatever implementation you're planning, as opposed to those that just generate cash that there's no plan to spend?
We have an entire spreadsheet that tells what the savings, where they came from, and where the governor recommended that they be spent on. So yes, we have information.
So the early property sales, the sale of property, went to displace money that was in the budget to redo the health building. We paid for that almost entirely with the real estate savings.
I'm thinking about if the Department of Revenue generates a $1 million savings and you've got a $1 million project to help speed up tax returns or something like that, you understand that. What we don't understand is when you generate savings, that you have no identified purposes for it, except to go back and administration.
In general, the savings went towards priorities of the agency.
Okay.
What was the governor's recommendation on the bond package? How much was that?
954.
So he barely got under the billion that y'all questioned.
We left
Okay.
room for you.
A lot of room for 236 people representing the whole state. Anything else?
That's not what we hear from the presidents of these tech schools.
No.
I don't think they heard that limit.
No. They thought it was
We've done
just.
a lot of groundwork to get here. I think we're ready to move and move fairly quickly.
I think so.
We're in agreement with that, Senator.
I understand.
I'd just like to say, thank you for your comment, opening comment about your commitments to try to get out of here Friday. I think if we can all agree on that, we can back up from that date and realize the task that we have and the time that's limited. And logistically, if we think it through, if Friday's the day we're trying to get out, printing budgets and agreeing on budgets are involved in the next 48 hours, the day is awfully critical, wouldn't you say, Mr. Leader and Mr. Chairman? I mean, we're ready to work. I know you are, and I just appreciate your commitment to that. And let's maybe set some times as best we can as to what we're thinking about today. We're here.
Would
Knock it out.
I know that been some early discussion with Senator Goggins and Representative Chanel on the DCH portion.
Yes,
They made some few recommendations. We'll look at those. Would you the judicial piece has some differences from where we fully funded pay increases for the year rather than putting some of them off to amended, and then we got the public defender piece. Would you be willing for Representative Martin and Senators Preston Smith, who worked on our side, to get together and see where agreement might be, at least see where some recommendations might be? Would that be a...
Absolutely.
We've got so many differences. I think they can easily
And
get
it's a
to
pretty,
that there.
page-wise, it's actually a pretty good piece
That's the
of
hardest
it.
part of it.
Money-wise, I don't know, although those pay increases do add up. But I don't even know how much it is altogether, but if we could resolve, if we came out of that package with, here's what we need out of, we know how we usually track both budgets to try to get to that final place where they agree. If we came out of it saying, hey, we need out of that package, if we do this, we're going to need whatever that figure is, and that'd give us an idea. And there may be others. I haven't thought too much past that.
I think that's a good idea. They can come back with some recommendations, and we'll still ultimately hold the
Sure.
final say.
I
I think
think Senator Moody and Representative Jan Jones are actually sitting down and talking, as I think those folks usually do. But
Yes.
we authorize him to sit down and kind of get some ideas from her on
Are y'all okay with that?
And if there are others that you want, I mean, I don't know exactly who all's here and who's not here, but if you think of some others and you give us a call, we'll let those folks work while we're talking about things that we can start taking off the table.
Let's do that. You want to try to schedule another meeting for later today? You want 2:30, somewhere in there?
Yeah,
That gives us time to kind of work and see if we have some agreements by then.
We're going to be here working straight through, so if anything breaks sooner, absolutely. But if not, we say 2:30 and
2:30, and we'll
let the subcommittee.
We'll see what all by then we can take off the table.
Yeah.
Make some progress.
Let's move forward.
Outstanding.
Take as much off the table as we can.
Let's do that by 2:30. Gentlemen, thank y'all very much.
Welcome, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Chairman, welcome back.
Good to see you.
It was the exception.
I think we've got some things we've got a little agreement on.
Yes,
You want
sir.
to kind of go through it
Either way,
together, or how
yeah, you
want
can
to
do it
this?
either way.
With the difference report from the Senate bill. That's the way it'll be printed this year. They're printing the
I
budget.
think we've got several little groups talking, and we'll maybe see, maybe in a little while, what they've got. Next time we meet, maybe we'll have if they'll bring us whatever they come up with, and you and I can kind of review it, and then maybe the next go around we can knock some of that stuff
So
out.
they'll knock a lot out when judicial, community health, and education. I think are all trying to talk and work out some agreements. So
We've knocked out everything but a few kind of super issues. So
try to tell them all not to come up with any new ads. We might should have thrown that out there with them.
I like seeing your children shopping.
Yeah. They never bring back the change. All right.
Well, it took a long time to find the first degree.
The under Department Administrative Service, I think at 399-1. Page 8, 44.
Yes, sir.
I think that was one we had there.
Yeah, I think the later figures. Okay, I think
That's just funding that compensation resolution. The gentleman that was wrongly incarcerated. 825. We feel like that's a better.
825.
That's the number. The Senate had to, as it moved through, that'll fully fund the annuity and we'll get everything that we've all voted for on that. Okay.
Wonderful.
All right. I think our next one, Mr. Chairman, if I'm not mistaken, is that page 9?
Page 9, 60.2.
60.2. We think we had that was okay. We're going to go with the 250.
Yes, sir.
250,000 for Johns Creek. Yeah?
Next time we got to bring back something for another conferee.
One at a time. They won't show up if we don't. One at a time.
Yes, right. That's exactly right. You want to talk about the city of Richland? Hot off the.
You can.
Well,
We got to speak to the mayor. And
no, we spoke with Senator Hooks at length, and then spoke with the mayor of Richland. If assuming the Department of Community Affairs is up to the task of a CDBG potential grant, then we think that the $600,000 in cash on 66.6 and the $250,000 transfer will make that plus what we hope will be a CDBG grant will get them to about the figure that they feel like they've got to have to continue with basically their infrastructure has just collapsed. I mean, it's a sad story in a little small town, less than 1,000 customers, I think, or something like that. So,
1,700 people.
I think that proves our government way up here in Atlanta works for Southwest Georgia, and I think it's Representative Hanner's district, I believe.
Senator Hanner and Senator Hooks. We're dealing with some environmental issues if we don't address it.
So, they tried to.
No, I don't think so.
They tried to pass a SPLOST, and I think everybody agreed that we opened that door to individual communities trying to pass that special sales tax. Most that would be a mistake. So anyway, I think we've agreed on the 600 in cash and the language that X's out the transfer of the 300.
Takes out that transfer of 300.
Which is a total of
600
$850.
Helps some of our members down in their communities. And that's community health, and they are working. Should be bringing us something back soon.
Did you?
The first nine.
Okay.
That's good.
Okay.
Oh, page 15, 106.7. We said the conference committee of 900,000 there on First Foundation. And the next one, I think, Mr. Chairman, was 110.4.
Yeah, and you're correct, because I actually marked the wrong one. I'll go back and correct my records. That is correct.
Isn't that a conference committee member?
Yeah, it is, and Kevin, I'll have to correct you on that. I just basically made my note on the wrong item.
The conference committee numbers, it'll be a total, instead of them receiving 100, they'll receive 75, so it'll show a minus 25,000 in that box.
That is correct. I just now realized when I saw that page.
And then 114.7, we were saying is 400,000 for
That's
the conference
correct.
committee.
That is correct. Yes, sir.
Which one?
Yeah, does it matter to you that it includes the word or tourism or marketing? We never did discuss that part. If they didn't need it all for tour, then they could use it for marketing. So
The conference, you understand?
And the balance would be what?
The language that we have is for use for tourism and marketing. We just had increased funds for
I
Tour
think we
Georgia.
need it for the event.
Right.
Which is going on now.
I mean, it doesn't matter to us. We had a lot more than that at one time. We had like 800, I think. One of them, and we put that figure in because we didn't know how much they were going to need. So it doesn't matter to me. We can put Tour to Georgia or market it, either one, just whatever y'all think.
Yeah, that way.
All right. House language. Okay. Good deal.
All right.
Okay.
Let's see our next one.
Top of the page.
116.2.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be, again, the house language, I think was what we needed.
House language
And
and
then 75,000
75
for the
conference
amount.
committee.
So it's conference committee of
Yes.
75 on 116.2. And then I think Music Hall of Fame and Sports Hall of Fame authorities, we had
I think we've got
the
house.
house on those.
All from 118.1, 2, 3,
And then 119, 1, 2, 3. Is that correct?
and 119, 1, 2, and 3. And those are all house.
Right.
Did y'all discuss those purpose changes or are still on the table?
We haven't gotten to that really yet. We're getting the
The then on the one, and I guess it would be 119.4. It'd be a conference committee on the 25,000.
right, the one-time operation.
Line item,
119.4.
One time.
25.
25. Right.
Right.
Okay. Very good.
Okay. And
Did good on that page.
we still got a little more too.
Yeah.
I think on agricultural education. I think we've had the amount will stay the Senate 152,000 $20, and then we're adding, but we're putting Whitfield County back in. Is that correct?
That's
And,
right.
Thomas County. So
Whitfield and Thomas.
it's taken out early. So the House, Whitfield and Thomas, which. 122.5. Give it that full 912. That was the amount they needed anyway. We working together on that. The Senate had. I appreciate that.
Slows downhill.
And keep it moving. 123.5 and 23.7. Those Senate positions. Those the cuts there. We want to take those.
Kind of finished that page. We did a good job on that page.
Good job on that one. What do we have next, Sandra? I think education, we were,
I believe 138.4, did you get that from last night?
what was that?
Got some of the foster children in care.
Yeah, I think we were all okay with that one.
I think we agreed with that one.
That was something we tried to do in 07, on 38.4, the foster kids in school.
QB
$4 million.
funding.
I think we're okay with that. I don't think we have an agreement on it. I did not get that down. That is my fault.
I think
Senate money on that?
Senate money, yes, sir.
I think there's one more that from last night. I'll get confirmation on it when we get there to it.
Okay. Trying to figure what is it. I don't think there's anything else on this page, is there?
I think that other one was on the next page, 159.2, was the lunchroom workers and school bus drivers
Can I
retirement.
talk with you on that a little later on
Sure.
that? Because I think we have something that might work
Oh, okay. Maybe you
on
got
that.
that.
I want to show you
Figure.
something. I think it might help us there.
Okay. All right.
But yeah, we're, I think, good on where we're trying to get to, 1450.
All right. Good deal.
What was next? The 194.16, I believe that was it. That cut.
Yeah, I had that down as an agree.
Which one?
Moving the federal funds on the food bank.
Yeah. That's one that we did.
194.11.
Y'all okay with that, aren't you?
Sure.
194.11, okay. And then there's 194.16 we talked about
Right.
today. Okay with that. 194.11 is just a movement of federal dollars too, by the way. Page 25.
It's the defects.
Defects officers.
Additions.
Right, we're going,
Basically, we just agreed on the,
right. We've agreed on that. We had 3, they added 2, and we're all in agreement with everybody's. On 218.7. It's the Senate number, Senate,
720.
which was our positions and their positions, so that's a good. And the one right below that, 218.8.
yeah, we
You
agreed
see
on
that?
that.
We're taking that reduction that the Senate found there. Okay. Next is natural resources,
What page again?
31, I believe.
31.
So 64.6 is, there's 2 cuts and one add right there.
Right.
The Senate on 264.6.
And I found out that Don Parsons and Ross had talked about these, and they came back with about the same thing that we had looked
Okay,
at.
and then the next 265.96, agree, Senate cut.
So we take Senate position of 96.
And 97, those cuts,
Okay.
and the sunken boats.
Okay.
And then
66.8 was, the money was the same. There was some language added on those positions, and I think that those positions are better served where that Senate language is as well. And I think if you'll look at that, you will too.
I believe the next is the bottom of the page, 273.10.
73.10, Lake Black Sheriff, House position,
House position.
45,000. See that?
Senate position.
What?
Got this language in there.
I think that.
Think of it that way?
Yeah.
Look at my different one.
No, that's fine.
Oh, what now?
Yeah, we can look at that again, make sure.
We just agree on the money, 300.
What's this?
Oh. That's what we're trying to get to.
I thought we added it. I don't know, that's what's in our verse.
We got a lot of demand for permits in ours. Yeah.
266.8 Ben. Let Jerry and I get together on that.
Well, that's, I think the real demand down there, I think, 3 of us, 4.
Have you looked at that?
Hey,
that language.
And that's where we want to go to the department, is being able to meet
Getting
the
those
demands
permits
of the
issued.
demand fast.
Sure.
I think this language does that, doesn't it?
I think so.
Okay, well, if y'all are satisfied with it, that was the intent, but I was trying to, if y'all are all right with that.
That's okay.
All right. This is Regents. So we got that. I think we had an agreement on ethics, didn't we? 343.7 on page 39.
Okay, I'm just not there yet.
I think we all had the same number. It was close to the same amount.
34338.
Well, I think it was on all 3 of those because I think we had basically the same amount as we had in ours. It was just split in different places.
Yeah, it looks like they're added together, but
And I've talked that over with budget. Everybody's fine because I think we got the same amount of money. We were
That's 3 okay.
just looking at where to put it.
we didn't discuss that cut, but if you want to leave that cut, that's good.
I think all 3, yes, sir, all 3 of those are good to
Agree
go.
on 7, 8, and 9.
7, 8, 9, all 3 of those are good to go because I think we're all trying to work from the same place there.
Okay.
Holocaust, I think you and I were going to get back together
Yeah,
on that.
we try to. I think that 376.15 on page 40 may be the next one.
376.15.
That's a Senate position.
Do the $1.5 million.
Yes, sir.
The next one was
War veterans.
War Veterans. That's the House position.
391.5. We
396.12 we did last night, didn't we, son?
yeah, hang on a second.
That was that savings that was found due to the bonds. We felt like that was a
Yeah, I
good
didn't
number.
write it down, but
We all agreed that
that
was-
y'all agreed to, we ready.
I found us that because I've talked to the budget office this morning. Everybody
All right.
thinks that's a good number.
Yeah, that's that, yeah, interest money. Yeah, thanks, I'm glad you reminded me of that.
I think
We're talking about bonds over on our side, trying to see where we can cut and try to accommodate everybody. Don't have any great ideas yet, but we'll.
Kelly, I reread that debt management again, and it specifically refers to unissued bonds as not being included in 2007, and I don't think they were in 2006. It does not look like, because every year you have rolling over of unissued bonds. Double check that.
What we looked at, it was a total of 1.22288 for the debt plan for this year, which included 328 of unissued bonds.
I don't disagree with that, but the debt management plan seems to take that into account when it listed the amounts for the next 5 or 6 years.
Why don't you get the plan and y'all sit down and
See if you can find in the plan where it addresses it, because the way I read it, it takes that into account.
Anything else, Senator?
No, I appreciate
Wait on the,
hard work so far. Well,
we've got Chuck, I know, is still meeting with Preston, Senator Smith, and
3
Representative
o'clock.
Martin.
shoot.
What time?
Rules at 5:30.
Well,
See if we can get
I
something.
mean, get one in
for you.
before then,
Yeah,
maybe at
that'd be a good
5.
idea.
We'll try to do 5, get something in.
I might
get
make a
back
pretty
here
good
at
little lick at then.
I think we can.
All right.
Something to work. Everybody's
I've
good with
already
what
done a
we've
little
so
bit of
far?
work on the next round, but if
Everybody's-
you give us a little while, maybe
3:30.
3:30. Okay. Very good. Thank y'all.
Thank y'all.
Man, it's been so long since I picked this up. You know where we're supposed to be.
Just the first page.
So we're going to do the judicial. That's right. We hadn't done the judicial.
Well, we got Senate and Senate too.
Great. Well, thank you for all your hard work this afternoon and making a little progress.
We're getting there.
I want to know if you want to start on page 1. That's always a good place to start.
Start right there. We were-
Call them or I'll call them either way. Go ahead. Go
Go
ahead.
ahead. It's the Senate. So.
Okay, well, all right, well, thanks. We're going to talk about a couple of them later on, but one we agreed,
Right.
and for the folks that may or may not know, each side manages its own budget, so we don't. We've already agreed to your ads, and so the 1.2 is an addition that we're going to talk about a little bit.
Right.
2.1.
We agreed on that.
Agreed on that.
So,
3.1.
so
We're going to
agreement.
talk about 3.2 and possibly move that somewhere
Right.
else to a joint office. I talked to Mark about that. And he's very interested in.
More about it.
Yeah, he said he's going to ask for it.
Yeah, 'cause I know he's working some of that too.
Yeah, I'm very impressed with his work. His discussions we had.
He's a good guy.
Yeah, he is. He really. I've known him a while. We tried to get Bill Hamrick married, but it hadn't worked yet.
No.
3.3.
I'm not going to comment.
3.3 is a agree, and 4.1.
Okay.
Okay, and then
So that's, and we Court of Appeals, where Chuck and Preston
Yeah.
had worked together.
yeah, we appreciate them doing that. A lot of these are Senate because they're cuts and so forth. So I think 13.4 is Senate.
Right.
We skipped all the pay raise stuff to later.
Come back, pay raise and health benefits and workers' comp.
13.9 is Senate position on state funds,
Right.
use of other funds for
And
So we do 51 and 60, or just the 51?
yeah, they're
51 is the state, and the 60 is,
13.10 is cut. That's a great
cut.
Senate
Agree to,
position. 13.11 is a Senate position.
That's a cut. Taking cuts.
Judicial Council, 14.1 is
That's a pay raise. I think those first two are pay
well,
raise.
that's the 07 pay raise. That's the whole year one, I think. That's the one that's already, it started this past January, I believe. Isn't that correct, Greg? That's the one that started past, yeah, they're annualizing that one that's already started.
Okay.
So that's why they agreed on that.
Okay.
That is not future pay increase.
Right. I did not have that marked.
Okay.
I remember that now.
This-
And the reason your number lower, I guess, is just the 3%. Okay. That's good. And then I think We had a,
We had a yes about the next one.
14.6 is $100,000 in parentheses, conference committee.
and we created a 14.5.
Did I do one I shouldn't have though on 14.4? That is not agreed, is it?
We didn't have one.
Okay, all right. I just
14.5, we did that new item, the 48,402
right. We got a conference committee position of a cut of 100,
on 14.6.
and then 14.5 is a cut of 48,205.
205.
Is that a zero?
Is that right, Charlie? It's not on there, it's off the other guy.
Well,
I had 48,402.
And then zero that out.
What is that under you did?
okay. So what's going to show? I had down that it showed as a zero, but it's actually going to be a cut. Unless I misunderstood
It
what
doesn't
it
show on
said.
here, does it? We'd agreed to it, right? Okay. I didn't get that accurate number on it, but I know we were cutting that 48.
Okay. And if that's 40, whatever the right number is, or whatever it is.
14.5 was an add, originally we went to zero. So
we
our
had an
new
agreement.
conference is zero, and the number we're cutting is 48,204. But we're not actually cutting it, we're just denying the add, so it's zero.
Okay.
We agreed to an add, and now it's zero.
They went back
Okay.
and pulled the ad.
Okay.
Okay. And that's 14.5. Okay, so conference committee moves that to zero. Okay.
Okay. 14.7 is also a cut.
Yeah.
150,000.
Just change the fund source. Right. Okay.
It's not really a cut, it's change of fund source, which creates 150.
Statement.
Okay. 15.3 is an agree,
Right.
and it's a zero in state funds.
Right. Changing the source. 15.5 was Senate 60.
All right.
15.6 was
Same thing, where it's substituting
just substitute
other funds for
source.
state funds.
Right. 15.7 is the House.
House.
Right. Do you have a copy?
Some help?
Sorry. I held them off as long as I could.
Had 3 to 1 after a
Mean group
while.
of guys there. They actually could have signed the report. Didn't you need them?
Excuse me?
Okay. I guess these notes made 2 hours ago get a little old.
Yeah,
16.7, I believe, says conference committee of 18,000. And it
What we
comes
did.
from item 161.8,
well, what it is, I think, is
I mean
we're
19,000.
moving that 19 from
Yeah.
16.18 up to 16.7.
Right.
I think that's correct. Going with, it'll work out to what, 74, 747?
Yeah, it's generally
So
the
it's
House
actually, I guess,
position in the end.
It's
but
kind of a conference, because it's a
Conference
little
committee.
different number, but we're also going to basically zero out 16, 18, is that correct?
That's right. Okay. 16.9 is, well, I guess what we're doing is, because our figures are the same, we're recognizing those funds to match federal funds, so we've agreed to that. So the Senate position recognizes those funds.
Right. He's recognizing the funds, because our state dollars were the same.
16.12, we have a conference committee position of 15,000.
Right. Sixteen, 13, that was
The lower figure.
took the lower 222, or 225,000. 16,
15 is that same as the other one, it's recognizing some
right, recognizing the
child
power.
enforcement funds.
Okay. 16, I had as a conference committee,
Right.
750. Is that right?
That's
Okay.
correct. That's correct, 750,000.
Okay.
The next one, I show a conference committee report of $400,000 and 16.17.
That's what I had, I just didn't mark it as okay. Okay. All right. Gets there. Thanks.
Did you have, that's right, that's zero, that's what moving, that's what I'm saying.
In 19, we had a conference committee for one additional position at 81,745. Is that right?
That's correct.
1620.
House,
The house is an
Position.
automation project. 21, 22, 23, 4, 5 are all
is Senate, zero.
right. Taking the zeros, recognizing the federal funds, and then
Yeah,
operations in the
state
gut.
funds are the same.
Right. Just recognizing those federal funds, no change in state.
We got a cut on 16.24 of 10,124
Right.
agreed to.
And 25
This
is a
is,
cut of 300. Is that
That's
right?
correct. Services not being any longer
Okay.
utilized. Let's see.
17.
We would need to change the language in that purpose change. In 16.99, we had just the
Yeah, we
right,
said we'll
correct number.
We'll have to come back. We'll get that straight. That's okay.
Okay.
I know he did mention that. I forgot about that. That number's changed. 17.4 is what I had next as a conference. 25.
25,000.
We had some language too, didn't we, on temporary personnel?
Yeah, I think if we were
Preston and
language
Chuck.
to use
Yeah,
temporary,
it was,
use
temp service.
temporary.
Okay.
Juvenile courts.
$18,100.
18-1.
Didn't we have one? We didn't
Sure
add
did.
the money. We
That's
didn't
a
add the
zero.
attorney.
That's a zero, that's correct. That's
We took the lower figure.
a lower figure.
Okay.
Next thing I have agreed written by is 20.1,
I think that's correct.
and that's the higher figure there.
Right. Adding the 2 juvenile court.
And then this is that 20.2
Right. We didn't. I don't think we had an agreement
Is-
yet because we had the.
but that is one of the annualizations, I think. 'Cause that was
Wait.
effective this past
He
January.
said that his bill is in rules.
Oh,
it's pending
okay,
that
that's,
bill.
I'm
That's the
sorry,
one
that's.
Preston brought up to us.
That's the bill. That's why I put that question mark there. Okay.
Yeah.
Good deal.
So we're trying to. It's pending in rules.
Okay.
And I think we go to the next page is 5.
Page 5, 25.2.
2 is a language agreement.
I think we moved that to the Superior
Just
Court
put it in a
Judges
different program. The money's the same. 25.3. We agree with your cut.
One-time funds from last year.
26.7. Conference committee, a cut of 8,000. 26.8.
Lower on the cut.
Yes, we took the cut. That's right. I look at my notes.
Next one I have is 27.5.
27.5. We had a 25,000 ad. Is that correct for conference?
Right, that's correct, conference committee.
27.7.
This is
Just took the
House
position. It's not it's a zero instead of a cut.
think we have, I have down 28.7 as an agree on the judge shooters.
I think Chuck had agreed on that, but is that one that we had? Because I had a note, then I thought it was a...
I wrote it because I had an S over there on it, but if you want to pull it off, we'll wait.
Let's come back on it. I think there is, but I need to ask Chuck a question.
28.7 is not an agree.
Just 1 second.
That's a bill.
Just a second.
That's a bill we're trying to.
Okay, I'll just,
Yes, it's on the floor of the Senate tomorrow.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
that's fine.
I think you want, but I'm going to need to ask Chuck a
I think
question.
it's like a second or third bill.
Okay. Whose is that? What house member is that?
Judiciary-
Willard? Member
Judiciary
Willard?
Chair.
Willard, okay. Okay. Is that enough? Because he said the pay raise, is that, no, it's not the pay
The
raise.
Cobb
He's
in
got that too,
Dublin,
though.
yeah, Cobb in Dublin starts July 1. The other 3 start January 1 of next year.
Where is Inoda? How you pronounce that? Inoda, no?
No,
Okay.
it's up in
Must be
north,
North.
it's North Georgia. No, it's not in North Fulton.
It doesn't have a creek. It's
Yeah.
It's up near North Cleveland. Yeah.
Okay. That's probably fine, but let me
I think that is.
run that by Chuck real quick.
Sure, that's no problem.
Sorry on that one.
Okay, 2813.
I did have that one. Taking the lower figure, taking your position.
I think
Position, 2813.
2814 House, lower figure. 15 Senate. 16. I don't know, we had an agreement, I thought.
I have agreed,
Yeah, I didn't know what we were,
but
I tried to figure out
I mean,
what the difference
it
was.
may just be a language thing. I think we,
16.
well, maybe that language got stripped out or something else. It's agreed to 0 with no language.
Yeah, I don't think, I think it's agreement because I think we both had the same figure.
Yeah, well, we got 0 with no language.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, all right.
Maybe we used a different zero.
Lowercase for us.
2817, I had a conference.
Yeah.
Cut of 75,000 instead of 150. Is
That's
that right?
correct. That would net 75, but it's a cut of 75.
Right.
That's the way you express it.
2818, we had the House to fund that 100,000 for the business court. Is that right? And
Yeah,
was
100,000.
there language on that?
I have one time written way over in the left margin.
I think that's what Chuck had said, but I don't remember that. Okay.
So this is 0, that does.
It's a zero, so it's
Zero.
a cut.
We will designate it one time.
1 time.
All right. 28 and 19, I had to accept the Senate cut.
Okay.
29.6, is that the next one?
28.99, I think.
I had a S, 28.99,
Okay.
and
I didn't know that.
I don't know that we discussed it, but I don't know. I don't know what the change was to the purpose. Well, I tell you what it was. It's presently a law clerk, maybe assigned to each one. Any additional one, I think we've added language to say they should be allocated based on caseload and not on signing them to,
Is that last
yeah,
sentence?
wherever they is, or whoever it is that puts them internally. That it ought to be go to where the heaviest work courts were. I think that was our point there. But we'll mark that out for now.
Well, let me ask you, because I didn't have a mark on it.
I actually don't remember us discussing it when they were there, but when he called them out, that's what he said, so that's why I wrote it down. We may not have discussed it.
29.6, is that the next one now?
I would agree.
Agree on the savings?
On the savings, right. Show a house position on 31.6.
Right, and it's tied to 36.6, right? So it's a transfer that we think the department had asked for.
Yeah.
One affects the other.
Okay.
And then on 33.2, 34.2, and 35.2, I show that we accepted where you used other funds, or
Right.
freed up those state funds. So y'all see that? 3, 4, and 5, 2. Okay. All right.
36.6 is that transfer from
Right.
Okay, then.
That's the house position. Right. Those two are tied together with the transfer.
These are some other funds. This next page.
29. Is that 120? 3.8? Is that right? Oh, in education.
I still have some on page 8.
Whoops. My pages got mixed up. Sorry. There we go. Page 8. I'm with you now.
See 43.1.
Right.
Shift of funds to other funds.
Just move the funds, right.
Same on 43.2.
And 43.3.
43.3. We've already agreed at the table on the next one, so that must be it.
Compensation.
We, guess it's a little easier when we've done it a little bit ahead, but we can try to work our way through these if you want to, and if there's any question, and if there's any question on them, we can just hold them off.
Okay.
We have a chance to discuss them.
Work on education is where we're going to, which is page 16.
I already have those, that already earlier agreed to. I have them circled already. I have those already agreed to earlier.
Oh, yes, I'm sorry. Now we're on page 17.
First one is a
23.8, is that right? I have that agreed to.
yeah. I have that until
Taking the cut.
can't send it on that.
Okay.
I don't have anything on the next item.
We didn't get the.
Northern.
We got down to
Really, the next thing I showed.
131. 1. Was that right?
I have a question, Laura. Let's see. Yeah, we're good on that. I have a yes by that one.
And the two are taking the other sources, other funds.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, I think we've reached something on 127.79.
And 127, 7 we did. We're going to get new language.
We had some language.
You know what? Did y'all come up with something like new language? Did you?
What I wrote down was highest priority to static or declining graduation rates. Schools with
I remember
static
stuff, that was what Jan was looking for,
Right.
something like that. Because our dollar
which
figure was the same.
takes out the one per congressional district.
Right. I understand what we're trying to do. Focus that more on
Where it needed to be.
127.7.
Sir?
Where it needs to be.
Yeah.
The needs are.
We have an agreement on
Taking
one.
that 5 days.
Took out the bad aid.
It's all right.
We think
Where's
it'll
that
be
5
fine.
days?
We took that out.
I suggest you take it down.
That's a good skill.
I think your language is pretty good.
Well, that was language that I worked on. I think Dan and Jan had worked
Yeah.
on that language, and it kind of focused on the highest dropout, the most need rather. So we got that language.
So is there anything that, are we still doing it per congressional district with
I think
No,
with that
that replaces
language, we're trying to get
Okay.
That's statewide.
focused on the highest need.
So that puts it all in where, though?
The department will have to determine the systems that are have
Yeah, but they could be all located in one part of the state.
well,
I'd go for the highest in by congressional district. That spreads it out and puts it where it's needed. We can talk about it.
all right,
Tell you
tell you
what,
what,
as we come back to that language, so we're agreed on the money, but we're just trying to come up with language to
if
get it to the
if
right
that's not
place.
agreeable,
Let's work on that
okay,
language.
that's fine.
And 127.9, we had an agreement on the dollar figure, it's just that we're still trying to get to
Yeah,
where it goes. We had it up in the 125, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And we've moved it all into 127.9.
yeah, and I think that we're in agreement on all of that language, the way I understand it.
So all that money would go to Canada, Montgomery, and Muskogee?
No, that's the first, the first three new. The next is operating costs for 5 performance learning centers previously funded, and this is the second year for them. Jen was the one that was handling this. And then the 5 new ones are as yet undetermined. I don't know how they determine, Communities and Schools determines that. Neil may know where they're going to go, but we don't. I didn't know. But I believe that's y'all's language.
This language, that wasn't ours, that was
That wasn't
yours.
y'all's.
That's why I think that we talked to Jen, because I thought we did get it, we were agreed on the
I put
money that we
parentheses
were trying to
around
get.
the 3 areas of funding, and I thought that
We're trying to work on that.
I don't have anything new about there. But it's been 2 hours since, 3 hours since.
Like I said, let me talk to Jan, because
Okay.
I thought she still had some concerns on a couple of the programs, but
Okay.
we'll get that one. That's easy, because it's not a money issue. We're just trying to figure out where to put it, but she's not here. So let's try that and come back to that one.
No problem.
Thank you. 133.1, I think we had an agreement. We'd added 250, y'all added another 250 to it, and is that correct? We agreed to that? Your position on that?
That's correct.
Because we added 250 and y'all added 250.
That's correct. Next one I have is House position on 138.1. And that have sent
I think we took your additional cut on 138.3, but we discussed maybe
yeah,
adjusting
I
that.
think she was probably, yeah, I think we agreed to that, and we talked about a lower figure,
Talked
and
about
then decided
adjusting.
against that. So,
Right.
yeah, that's the higher cut, that's
So we'll
the
make
Senate position.
Come
That's
back and
correct.
look at that one.
Next time we do that, we need to run up here and
Yeah, right away.
remember, because it gets cold, and all of a sudden you have to rethink everything. Okay.
Fund that at 2, and we'd probably feel comfortable about that too.
On that one,
138.3, just fund 2 positions. We'd probably feel
Yeah.
comfortable about that.
but she made a good point that started in the middle of the year, so. Yeah.
We already had an agree on 138.5.
On which one?
138, not 5, I'm sorry, 4. I got the wrong one there, I'm sorry.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
already had
I'm
it.
back
That's a
to-
good swap.
I'm back to it.
Okay, all right. Okay.
That's why they're here.
We won't hold you to that one.
Thank you for that.
The next one I have,
138.4.
the next one I have is 145.6, a House position.
Yes. And I think that one tied to That was tied to 138.1, that's right. Those two were tied over.
That's correct.
That's why we already agreed to that one.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I think the next one I see is 149.1.
49.1, 2, and 3.
These are basically recognizing federal funds.
Recognizing federal funds.
No state funds involved. Or it's replacing
Right.
your state with federal.
Right.
Okay. And
52.8, I think, which added 100,000,
Yeah.
put 100,000. We agreed with that
okay.
for the school for the blind.
I think in 153.4 we said C bond section. Or we just talked about it.
We just talked about, we didn't get an
Okay.
agreement. We guess still
Yeah,
got
I
it.
think that was my note.
Yeah, we've had a dispute between the two vice chairs over there. Disagreement. All right. I think that was it in education. Y'all have anything on education I want to talk about? Gary or Mark? Do we have anything else here?
I think so, but we were going to
Y'all
move
finished?
on. Let's see. Maybe we can look here.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, we've done.
About the judges, if you want to talk about the judges.
The judges, the,
Five judges. 28-7. 36.
did y'all agree to that?
We can, what this does is it fully funds the 2 years, which we had, the additional difference between the same, they funded currently the judges for the 3 half-year judges starting January 2008.
Okay. That's what's coming up tomorrow.
That bill is going to appear to pass now. We need to approve to do, or we would have to do it in April.
So we're trying to fund it now.
If they pass it now, the judges will probably be able to be seated and on the bench in January. Because I have 6 months to go through the process.
Questions?
No.
Hmm?
No, that's fine.
Comments, questions?
One thing we know is none of us will be one of those appointees.
I'm pretty sure I won't get it.
I'm happy with that. I'm happy with
$5 more $3. So y'all are
that.
on.
Chuck, where's,
I think we'll get on that, Dennis Clark.
Huh?
you know that, where's that?
It's a little,
North Georgia?
south of
You know that? I think basically it was said,
There's
trying to
a
let
lot,
you
so-
know.
Does
Did we,
anybody know?
did we agree on that one then?
Nota's North Georgia.
North Georgia.
Nota's up north of Cleveland.
That's up
It's up north of Cleveland.
here. Checking to see if
There's a
Pearson district. We knew that.
There's a place called the Nota Burger
Make
there.
sure you know, Charlotte.
A Nota Burger.
Dana, we agreed on that one or not?
Yona Burger. You okay with it? I know all the burger
Is that your
joints.
district, Chris?
I don't want to write anything unless
You up for
it,
that job?
Let's do it.
You know, when you ask, you never get, so we're
I've been honorable mention a couple of times.
I'd rather know them than be them.
Is that it right now?
yes, sir, I think so.
Y'all have any comments or questions on anything?
Made a
Keep working.
fair, I'm ready to
We've had a
keep
lot of work
working.
going on today. We just got to
Appreciate
work put together.
Representative Martin and his folks working hard.
Public defenders is a big one, and then we got, we can start working on some of this other. But. Anything?
We're gonna be back tonight.
Sure, if you want to. We can do it two ways. We can privately work on some stuff as long as we feel like it, and either bring it to the table in the morning, or we can meet back tonight. Just, we're fine either way. And we're going to work on some more regardless of whether we have another meeting or
The
not.
staff
Jack,
is
staff saying morning.
Well,
Morning, okay.
I think you guys can get a lot
All
more
right.
done if we just keep
Okay.
working.
yeah, you guys are doing a great job, but
You guys need to
let's,
keep working.
let's
And the staff
jump at
wants
it
to do
tomorrow.
what?
I mean, let's,
Back and forth.
I mean,
Oh, staff wants to come out.
Keep working. Remember,
We like to- we have to,
Both chambers have fairly long days tomorrow. Why don't we meet at 10? That's morning orders and
Yeah.
order business. I know
know most of us need to hear the preacher, but would y'all be agreeable to meet at 10?
Sure.
Staff come time in the
Sure.
morning and work, and then meet up here at 10?
Yeah, and we'll see what we can come up with between now and then.
Okay. Is that all right with you?
Appreciate your work.
Good to me. Thank you.
Pleasure to work with you.
What time?